Welcome back, guys. Just come from a nearly perfect war. 5%. It would have been perfect. 95% on the number one base. And it just missed out on a perfect war. But today I'm going to teach you guys thoroughly how my queen charge works. So I'm going to get straight into it. I picked this base. It's been attacked twice already, and it got a 1 star and a 2 star, I think. And they were both hog attacks, so I got to see all pretty much most of the where the traps are. We got double giant bombs up there, giant bomb in there, giant bomb in there, and spring traps after the cannons on the outside, spring traps on the cannon there, and we got some Teslas next to the expos and the town hall. So, as with any queen charge, there are 4 rules to follow. Find the perfect path for the queen, funnel the king to get the queen, and to use hogs, and in this case loons, to try and take out as much defenses from the other side of your attack. And then the fourth, drop wizards on the outside to clear up as quick as you can. Now, over time, I've found ways to make this attack quicker. Before it was coming near to the 3 minute mark. Now I'm around the 2 minute 30, which is pretty good. Again, that all really depends on the base and how fast you get the queen through to start taking things out. So with this base, it's an interesting, it's a weird base, but I like it. It's very interesting because the spring traps work well. If, for example, if someone tried to attack the queen and took out like this side of the base and then trying to drop hogs on this side, the spring traps will get you and it will thin out, and then you've got to deal with all these walls and stuff to try and get your heroes through to try and clear up. And by that time, because it's so far away, all these buildings, you might run out of time. So, which is what happened with the 2 previous attacks. So, as with any attack with the queen charge, I will stick to my principle. The queen charges to the king, and your king goes for the queen. And also, the queen takes that, deals with the clan castle stuff, whatever that comes out. And nowadays, it's dragons or hounds that come out, or loons. So, you've got to be careful that you don't lure the clan castle with your king. So, the timing of dropping your king is very, very crucial. So, I decided to attack it from the north, drop my queen on the barracks, some funneling with some minions on the outside to get her in. Once the archer tower targets the queen, I drop some war bombers to kill this wall, which is completely safe from everything. Wizard towers far behind. It doesn't matter because they take time to get to the war bombers, and by that time the war bombers would explode, and that will pretty much open that area up for the queen to get inside. And the king side, I was going to drop the golem onto that archer tower, but it's not getting that much in my opinion. You could drop it to one side to get the cannon, but then how are you going to kill the cannon because the wizards will be shooting your wizards? So I dropped 2 loons on this archer tower and 2 minions on either side of this research lab. So once the research lab dies, the minion will go to the collector there and into that. So that's cleared up 4 buildings. So 2 loons and 2 minions will clear up 4 buildings. It's a good exchange. And then I can drop my golem, which I dropped right far away, right in that corner, in this corner here, that point, so that the golem will come to this mortar. If the golem comes to that mortar, it'll take fire from the wizards, the cannons, hopefully the mortar. It seems a bit random. Sometimes the mortar will shoot the golem, sometimes it doesn't. I think it all depends on how perfectly the golem gets to the corner of the wall. It didn't matter so much if I missed it. I had backup plans. I would have dropped some wizards at the top to try and take out all this, and then the other plan is to drop war bombers here, which is fine again because I've got an extra war bomber. I can just drop them right next to the wall. If it's right next to the wall, it's fine for war bombers. They will get through even with the wizard tower there. By the time it fires, it gets through. They explode. And I was going to place my jump right there. So that means the king's got access to the air sweeper, town hall, the queen, pad, air defense, dark, and yeah, that's pretty good for the king. If the war bombers fail, it's fine. I'll drop the jump right there. At least he'll do his job. I mean, his main job is to kill the queen. That is pretty much his, and to tank a little bit, which is fine. But the main job, kill the queen. Now the earthquake spell is works really well on a base like this. If I dropped it right there, so I took out all this compartment, all this, which also lets my king roam free inside as well as the queen. Because guys, once the queen is inside and there's no walls, the queen will just keep going and going and going. If there is a wall, if you fail to do the earthquake in the walls here, the queen will come out because queen does not like walls if there is something else for her to shoot which isn't too far. There is a certain limit. We don't know the certain limit, but there is a limit for her. And another reason why I don't use jump, by the time she jumps, it can be too late. She might just only jump one wall and then she has to shoot a whole row of other buildings, and then she don't get to jump the second wall, and it just doesn't work as well. The earthquake is permanent. Let's put it like that. I've also got a rage as usual for the queen to get her out of trouble. Use it to kill the king. Many reasons why you should have the rage for the queen. And the rage, it's not just for the queen, it's for the healers mainly, to just make her a super strong basically. She's a one-man army. She can, you don't need anything else other than healers and spells for her. And she has an ability as well to get out of trouble, which I tend to use for the clan castle troops. So we've got that part sorted out. Now the next part, as I would say, try and take out as much defenses on the back to help them get through, as well as once you take out the defense on the outside, on the back here, you can start dropping wizards to clear up. Time, saving lots of time. As I said from earlier, this base has got spring traps behind the cannons, and sending hogs in would be suicide, as from the previous attacks. So I had to kind of think out the box. I thought, well, this archer tower is going to target my queen pretty early, so I can drop a loon on that cannon. Done, sorted. Dead cannon. I also decided take a few more hogs. I think I took 5 hogs and I dropped them where this hut is. So once this top half was all cleared out, the hogs will come, air sweeper, and then get onto the Teslas, air defense, expos, and Teslas and air defense, and because they're already being tanked by something else. They're either shooting the golem, the king, or the queen, so they will do their thing. The next step was how to defeat this cannon. This part was tricky. Boy, was it tricky. So the first things first, this archer tower is going to start attacking the king most likely, or the golem. So I'm going to drop some 3 hogs onto that hut because I want the hogs to go to the left side of the archer tower, because then they'll jump to the air defense, because I don't know what's in between these two. Can't remember. I think there might be some bombs or spring traps. So that's fine. So the next one, I've dropped the giant for the cannon and then a loon. So the giant will tank the queen and the loon will take out that cannon. One for one sort of. Because then I'm going to drop 3 hogs between these 2 buildings to get the wizard tower, which will then jump to the mortar and so on. And once, because this wall here is destroyed, the queen will eventually come through and distract this queen, this archer tower, and then I can drop a loon on that cannon as well. So that was pretty much the plan. I had a few backup plans. My main concern was obviously this part, and if, for example, the golem went up to either the cannon or wizard, then I'll have to start my funnel from the top, start dropping wizards to try and clear that out. And obviously I had the jump, I could have placed the jump there instead, and there was backup plans for that. So I'm going to go straight into it so you can see how it went through. So the first step, queen. Notice where I put the healers, because I kind of know, well, we know that the queen will go through the door here where that skull wall in the corner is, and when she does, the healers, if you look, are in perfect line with the air defense, so they're at the furthest possible point for the air defense. Straight line from air defense, queen, healers, very important. Drop the minions, drop the 2 loons. Yeah, that was a bonus, that building died to the loons as well. The earthquake damaged the expos, the town hall, the air defense, the mortar, and the other air defense. So that's a couple of less hits for your queen basically. So that's pretty good. Minions doing their thing, they're working on the storages, which is great. I thought they'll die from, no, they did die. Now this was a scary moment. I have the expo, the mortar, and the king and the skeletons hitting on the queen, and I was just about in time to put the rage down. You can see how low she got. This could have been over from that point on, to be honest. That was pretty bad. Should have put the rage down a little bit quicker, but you live and learn. And she's up to full charge again straight away, and she's got rage, so she's going through fast. Yeah, double giant bombs mean nothing. Drop the poison. Start dealing with the clan castle. At the same time, I drop the golem. The golem has gone to the mortar. Let's see if the mortar shoots the golem. Yeah, it didn't. See? Sometimes it don't, sometimes it does, which is fine because wizards can take on a few shots of the mortar. I use the queen's ability to deal with the clan castle. Maybe you might be able to get away with it not using it, but I just prefer to use it, get out of the way fast, because you don't need to use the ability ever again, to be honest, because you don't need to shoot any walls, and she's a superwoman. So here we go. So the next stage, as you see, the archer tower was distracted. You can see the bullet right there shooting the queen. Cool. Drop the loon on that, and I've got 5 hogs I did do 2 groups, but I don't think it worked. I wanted to try and prevent the splash, but that didn't quite work. King's doing well. Golem's tanking perfectly. Although one of the Teslas is shooting the king, which is fine. Dropped the 3 hogs on the archer tower, and perfectly, I think one went straight, got the spring trap, and the other 2 went to the air defense to help the king kill it. And now the tricky part coming. Giant, loon, 3 hogs. Look at this golem. Look at this golem, how far it got. Now that the air defense is shooting it, can drop the loon now. And that air sweeper's gone as well, which is perfect, because that air sweeper was really annoying me. That was heading towards that cannon. And that's it. Cleared it up. Pretty perfect raid, I thought. And guys, this works on pretty much most bases I've ever tried it on. Use it for farming, works on those bases. Use it for war, works on those bases. Even anti 3-star bases, which I've posted up last week, works on them too. Even better sometimes, because they're so open. Defenses are all over the place. It's too spread out. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Second attack coming up, which didn't go. The concept was there, and it was still a wipe. So, till the next video. See you guys later.